Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome back.
It's a special day.
It's a special day today. I can't believe it. It's 1 year to the day that we moved into the finca. We've had our ups and downs. Those of you that watched us from the beginning will know all about that. Getting used to living off-grid completely with solar and limited water supply and...
It's different.
It's different. But yeah, it's been a year. I can't believe it.
It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure, with various things. We're not going to go into it here. That's not what it's about.
No.
But it's all in our
previous videos.
In detail. Yeah. So we moved in a year ago today. We weren't ready.
No, definitely weren't ready.
We weren't ready.
It was going to be a really long year, long project. 15 years we kind of set ourselves, continuing with our business back where we were living, but for various reasons.
Yes. Initially we started off, we actually bought the house 3 years ago, and we couldn't do anything for the first year because we were waiting for all the permissions to come through, which can take, well, a year. Yeah. Then the second year we started the business, which was over an hour away. And with all the restrictions and the lockdowns and stuff at the time, Sharon couldn't actually come up here, so I was travelling 2 hours a day coming working on this place because I could travel across borders and stuff because I'm a registered builder in Spain. So and it went on, and in the end we just decided that, you know, what the heck, if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. So we found someone to take over the business and moved in. We weren't ready. We had a bathroom and half a bedroom floor.
And we were sleeping on a mattress on the floor.
Camping, yeah.
Camping, really camping. And barbecue, cooking outside, everything.
And when we moved, we brought 6 cats, previous rescue cats that we already had with us. Yeah. In the meantime...
just before we moved in, actually, because it was a year last week, little Donkey came along. He'd obviously escaped from somewhere, piece of rope round his neck. About 2 foot, he had a 2 foot long piece of rope that he'd lived on. Yeah. But he couldn't even lie down. He could hardly walk, his hooves were really overgrown. Again, previous videos, Andrew will put a picture up now of the state that he was in. But yeah, we weren't ready to take him on, but poor thing needed a home. Yeah, fortunately, had a very good friend that looked after him for a long while, whilst Andy built him a stable. And then once we got him, we ended up with a goat as well because they were good friends and Donkey's
the goat was also mistreated.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we also adopted 2 puppies that needed a home.
We were just crazy.
So the first part, you can't choose when they need help, can you?
No.
So the first few weeks, maybe longer that we lived there, we were still camping on our mattress while building accommodation for the animals that we'd helped out. So that was an interesting time as well, especially trying to work through the 40 degrees it was in the summer, trying to build all these things. So yeah, that's about where we're at, I think, isn't it? So we're actually progressing now. We're not going into too much detail because there's 270 previous videos you can watch to see the progress. But we'd actually like to take this opportunity to thank all the people that have helped us out and supported the channel over the last year, particularly to Paul, Anya and Gareth from Fortuna Logica, who donated us a load of solar panels. Yeah. And a hot water heater, which we must get installed.
We must get installed for next winter because we did struggle with our solar hot water.
For the 11 wet days in a row we had, which is really unusual for Spain. But anyway, so that's us, that's where we're at.
We thought we'd just share it with you.
Yeah, it's a happy day. We're going to be opening a bottle of sparkly.
We will, later, when we finish work, of course. Later.
And in the meantime, I've got swimming to do. You've got a goat and a donkey to muck out and feed and things. Yeah. So, yeah, let's crack on.
Oh, we've had a fantastic weekend practicing with our new smoker.
A new toy.
We've had a lovely roast chicken yesterday.
Yes, it was absolutely fantastic. I'll put a little picture up. We took a picture of it. We were that impressed with it.
Yeah, it's exciting. So it works a treat.
It works really well, yeah. So we'll be getting fired up later again. What we're on, the Courtyard. The guys were supposed to be coming over the weekend, just gone to do the Courtyard, but unfortunately they've overrun on a job. so they couldn't come. So hopefully they're going to be here next weekend.
Fingers crossed this weekend.
So we've had to kind of change our plans a little bit because we were hoping, obviously, to crack on with it. But until the floor's done, we can't really do much else, and we can't do the floor because the stones are just massive, thick and heavy.
Yes, don't fancy lifting them myself.
But we've got plenty of other things to do.
We have, my goodness, we've got a list.
We have list of jobs, niggling jobs, ongoing jobs.
Yeah, things that we just never got round to finishing completely. And also, most importantly, is the land. We haven't trimmed, well, we did trim a little bit round the back of the apartment. We moved the wood the other week and the stones, but the rest of the land really has been neglected. Yes. All the rain we've had.
The main reason, in a way, as well, because last year we left. Emilio trimmed his land twice already this year, and it needs doing again now because it's been that wet. You can see it there on this picture. So we left ours last year until about this time. It hasn't rained now for 24 days. It's not looking like it's going to rain anytime soon. And when we did them last year, we only did them the once, didn't we?
Yeah, we left it till it was really, really dry, and then did it once, and they didn't come back. So fingers crossed.
We're going to make a start on that this morning before it gets too hot. Get an hour or so done, see what we can get done.
Yep.
And they'll be two happy
animals to munch through the weeds.
Because we'd let them go and graze it themselves, but unfortunately the
artichokes will disappear, the asparagus will disappear, I'm sure. So,
yeah, so we have to control them a bit.
Yeah.
Right, so let's crack on before it gets too warm.
Well, that's the first wheelbarrow full. There's loads more, and we've done about a quarter of the land so far. So I'll just go and deliver these to two hungry animals. I don't think you like that one, it's prickly, isn't it? Donk. Over here, baby. So, a little bit of a garden update for you. You may remember the other week that I planted some courgette and some aubergine. They're popping up beautifully. I've got 5 courgette plants and 7 aubergine at the moment. I've taken the peas out, and in place of the peas I've planted some cucumbers, and they've come up already after just a week, so I'm really thrilled about that. Planted some fresh basil. This is last year's basil that we've had hanging up outside, and I'm just now taking off all the leaves. Going to put it in the blender and make some dried basil, because as I say, at the moment ours is not ready, it's only just gone in. So I thought I'd just update you on that. Oh, and the beetroot. Took the beetroot out at the weekend. I boiled it and pickled it, and for all our labours, that's all we got, 1 jar, but it's better than nothing. It's a start. We didn't get any the last 2 years. It just wasn't a success at all. I've already eaten a bit. It was a full jar, but it's delicious. So yeah, I'm back into my garden again, which is fantastic. I love to watch things grow. So that's it in the grinder. Oh, the smell is amazing. Absolutely amazing. A bit more. Should do, I think. Into our jar.
Right, so we're back in the courtyard. Our oleander is starting to blossom. Beautiful, this tree. We actually cut it into a canopy so it provides really nice shade in the afternoons. This is in the lower courtyard. In the upper courtyard, where the smoker barbecue is, if you can see the flue up there, the original flue I put on wasn't tall enough, and because it's surrounded by high walls, when the breeze comes at a certain way, it was not drawing up through the chimney. So we temporarily stuck that other piece on the top to lift it up a little bit, and it works absolutely perfectly. So I'm going to glue it in place, because if you can see, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Finca. So I'm going to glue that in, and then that's done. Whether we're going to move this or not, we don't know. But we smoked a chicken yesterday, as I mentioned earlier. It took us several hours. It was absolutely beautiful. So tonight we're going to try it in a normal barbecue format. It's exciting stuff, you know. Right, I'm going to get this glued in place. Anyway, ready. Right, so it's glued at the bottom. This special proper flue glue that you use, heat resistant. Absolutely solid. It moves a little bit, but it's not going to do any harm. So I just need to take this off. We'll give it a wipe because it's very dusty, and then glue it in place. Then our barbecue is perfectly complete. All we got to do now is check it from all directions to make sure it's vertical, because it's going to have to live like that forever, and I can see that it isn't there already. How does that look?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was okay to me.
I think we're alright with that. We'll have a walk around it. Right, cool. What's next?
This is the disastrous shutter as a result of that leaking flue.
Could have stayed with it.
To be honest, I've kind of grown used to it, and I think it looks quite rustic. However, it doesn't match the windows, and when this is a new window,
we don't mind a bit of rustic, but we want
yeah.
slightly less rustic, I think.
So we've been putting it off because I don't think it's going to be an easy task, but we're going to try and clean it up.
Scotch Brighton soapy water, I think we're going to try, aren't we?
We're trying.
And the same, the inner door, but to a lesser extent as well. It's just at the bottom.
Maybe at the, yeah.
But so that's our next quest, because it's something that's been really bugging us. And yeah, it should come up alright. I tried a little sample bit a while ago, and it doesn't look too bad. So, and we're not going to go mad with it, like we said, we don't mind a bit rustic, do we?
No.
A bit rustic, because they're all going to be rustic eventually anyway.
Yeah.
Wood ages like that, doesn't it? Right, so let's get on with it. There goes nothing. I should have said before, we're going to do this. I'm going to do the trimming, do an hour or so every morning when it's a bit cooler. Right now, this is in the shade, as you can see, so it's perfect for doing this. If I stand there, I'm in the sun. If I move to here, I'm sort of shady. I am, honestly, trust me. Right, let's give it a whirl, see what we can do with it. You start at the bottom, I'll start at the top, eh?
Oh, you give me the best bit.
Oh, I'm taller than you. It all runs down your arm if you do the top, and you hate that, don't you?
I do. It's like nails down a blackboard for me.
Thank me now. Right, let's crack on.
Well, it might not look a lot different to you, but this is our second bowl. It's absolutely black, the water, so it obviously is coming off. It's just going to take time. We'll leave it to dry, see what it looks like, and then start on the inside, and if we need to do it again, we'll do it again.
Well, it must be doing something. The colour of that, it's absolutely black, so it must be taking something off. What will be, eh?
Well, it's about as good as we can get it. We'll let it dry now and then give it a new fresh coat of oil in the morning. It's a shame, but as I said, I've quite grown used to it now, and I think it looks quite rustic, so I'm not going to fret over it. Too much trouble to make a new door, so we'll live with it.
Well, I've done a bit more trimming this morning. This side's looking something like now, but the other side isn't, so I'm slowly getting through it. It's too hot again, I had to stop again, but I want to show you our buggy. So this is our beach buggy. 5 years we've had this, and we've just managed to get it legal on the road. I've had to move it because I need to trim it. It lives under a tree in the shade. We got it 5 years ago, and it had some technical problems with the ITV, the annual test, and we had to do quite a bit of work on it to get it up to standard, as it were. But unfortunately, it spent when we got flooded down there, it was this deep in water, or maybe higher actually. Then all the restrictions started, that's why it's taken so long. But we finally got it, and it's great on all the little tracks and stuff around here. So there you go, that's our buggy.
Well, we've been a bit delayed today, but it was a lovely delay. We just had a visit from our friends. Oh, we met them in 2013 on the campsite. George and Jill. George is a Scotsman, and he's just brought us some square sausage, so we'll be sampling that on the barbecue later. He makes it all himself. It's absolutely delicious. We've had it before, so it was lovely to see you guys, and thank you so much once again.
Yes, thank you very much, and lovely to see you. So anyway, back to the job in question. The door, as you can see, it's come up fairly well. Fairly well as it's going to come up, because I say we're not that precious over it. So I think we're going to get some oil on it. It's just come into the shade now, so we're going to get some oil on this and the inside one, which has come up better. So yeah, let's crack on. And Sharon's popped into town to get a bit of sparkly stuff for a bit of celebration. I'm in charge of oiling. Look at me. And we did consider actually jet washing this, which probably would bring it out, but like I said, we're not that precious over it. We're quite happy with it as it is. So, I'll carry on. That's not come out too bad, has it? Just the inside and the French door to do now. If you saw the videos, I don't know, it must have been 3 or 4 weeks ago, still on the subject of linseed oil, we painted one stone on the floor with linseed oil. What's the matter, Jessie? Jessie's shouting at me. To see how it wore. It's about, I don't know, a month ago or something like that. And we've been walking in and now, it's all very dusty. It was been. I literally just mopped it down, and look how it's come up. Well, not just, I've mopped it down last night and left it to dry, and it's still retaining its colour. So it looks as though we're going to be doing all the floors with linseed oil. I hope you can make it out on the video. It looks like you can. Sometimes it's hard to tell because we've only got a tiny little screen to look at. But yeah, it's worked incredibly well. Might even give it a second coat it might make it easier to clean. I don't know, but yeah, we're going to carry on with it anyway. Give it another month maybe, because we've got plenty of other things to do. And what's up, Jessie? And see how it fares. But yeah, so far it's looking brilliant. Right, okay, so Sharon said before, we've got square sausage which we're going to cook on the barbecue. We're loving our offset smoker. This is 4th day now. We only use the firebox for it, even if we're doing like normal barbecuing. because what we do, make a fire with here basically, put some charcoal in it, get it going, stick a couple of logs on the top, almond in our case, gives it a nice flavour. But because we can control the temperatures with the 2 valves at each end, it's a bit drafty in here, we can, on the plates in here, it's hotter at this end and cooler at that end, although at lower temperatures you can make it nearly the same all the way through. But it's great for cooking stuff because we'll get our sausages on here, we're going to have some baked jacket potatoes as well. Where's that wind come from? And they'll go in the firebox, so they should cook lovely. And then maybe a fried egg on top of the sausage, which we can do on here as well also. So I've just got it ready, and yeah, we're going to tend to all the animals as always, and then see what we can do with this again. Right, it's exciting stuff. The fire's lit. The charcoal's nearly caught there. Let's wait for the flames to die down, and then I'm going to put a couple of pieces of almond on, close this end valve, which then lets the heat build up inside it, and get the temperature up and ready for cooking. Once we get up to temperature where we want to be, we can control the actual temperature of the stove with this valve here. And I need to put on my list, I need to make a place to hang and store all these sort of things as well, barbecuing things. Right, so there we go. I forgot before, the baked potatoes in the firebox, and the square sausage is on. So I need to close the lid. You can see a nice whiff of smoke coming through. We've got a nice clean fire, should taste lovely. So there we go, square sausages, baked potato with crispy skin. We're just waiting on the egg, and we're good to go. So bon appetit everyone. Right, so back to reality. My next job on the list, you can see the shutters up there, lovely they are too. When the wind blows from a certain direction, they tend to flap about, and we actually lost one of the hinges a few weeks ago. It pulled it out, it was that violent, the crashing. So I've been meaning to make some shutter dogs for it for quite a long time, but I had a brainwave idea, pretty sure it's going to work. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this threaded rod down with a nut on the end, resin it into the wall, and then screw this little magnet to the shutter. So when the shutter opens, it clicks onto there and should hold it open. They're supposed to hold like something like 10 kilos, they reckon. I can't see it, but there should be enough. They're quite strong to hold the shutters back. So the first thing to do, I'm going to just Loctite the nut in place, get these cut down. They don't need to go very far, they're not very strong. One for each shutter, there's a trial one, and then see if we can get them in the wall. Right, okay, back in the workshop. Clean white shirt this morning, this was. Now I'm full of bits, I've got colour of it already. Done a bit of strimming, haven't I, again? Move this out of the way. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut these off with the angle grinder. I'm going to put the nut on the second one before I cut it, so we don't have to mess about rounding the ends off. And I've actually had a brainwave. I'm full of great ideas. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill this at 8mm threaded rod. I'm going to drill an 8mm hole in the wall, then I'm going to put a slight bend in this bar and see if I can just hammer it in, save on resin, and they're not actually holding a lot of weight. So first of all, get them cut and get these nuts stuck on place. Excellent. First I'm going to bend them. I only want a slight bend in them. Slight bend. I'm just going to stick it in the vise, give it a whack. Don't know what, if you can see that, that should do it. So if that goes in an 8mm hole, theoretically it should stay in there. If not, I'll just drill a bigger hole and resin them in, but it's a quickish way. looks like that swan's going to have to be resined in. The other one banged in alright, but I'm into the mortar. Oh well, such is life. Right, well that didn't go to plan. I hit the mortar and it always goes bigger, so I've just resined it in. I pushed the shutter back to it so I get it in the right place, because there was a bit of a gap behind it whereas the other side was touching. We'll just let the resin go off now. It needs about 20 minutes and then well, it should work.
Well, I'm just waiting now for this area to come into the shade so that I can oil the door and do the inside of the shutter. Andy did the outside yesterday. So I've just done all the animals. Andy's done some trimming. I've just collected up all the bits of weeds and given them to Donkey and Goaty, so they're happily munching away now. So yeah, just waiting now. Won't be long. It's nearly there. Well, I've just come up to inspect the garden, and our little bay tree is right at the top of the land. We do tend to forget about it. The other day we checked and it had got a lot of new growth, so we were really pleased. But this morning, as you can see, it's looking very sad. It's difficult to water it here because it's on a slope, a natural slope, and so you water it and the water just runs down and never really gets absorbed into the soil. After all the rain, it was doing great, but I think there's only one solution, and that's to move him. And this is our pathetic specimen of a mandarin tree. If you remember last year, it was looking really healthy and then it was eaten by a caterpillar, or caterpillars in plural, and just lost all its leaves and we thought it was dead. But then it came back to life and it was looking really healthy. Now it's just gone all brown, all its leaves have dropped off. It's not lack of water, because as you know we've had lots and lots and lots of rain, and this is on the front of the house. It's got a nice little well around it, so there's no excuse really. I just don't know what's happened, but he's obviously dead, so we're going to pull him up and replace him with our little bay tree and hope that he does better on the front of the house here. We won't forget about him. Rather than being right at the top of the land, we can water him daily, or at least once a week once he's established, and see if he does better. So he's out. Wasn't that difficult actually, because I have been throwing water at it to try and revive him. So but we've got out the mandarin tree. I'm just going to, this soil is amazingly dry even after all that rain, so I'm just going to pop him in. Like so. And then just put the rest of the soil back and hope for the best, poor boy. So he's in, give him lots of the water, big drink, and hopefully he'll be alright and survive. More than can be said for the mandarin tree, but we have got one in the courtyard which had lots of blossom on it. We're hoping for a few mandarins this year. We'll see. We've not been successful with it so far. It's our third year. But yeah, poor thing. Well, it's taken till gone 4 o'clock for the sun to disappear off the back here. I'd forgotten in the summer, because the sun is so high in the sky, it takes a long time. So, but I'm on it, and it will be finished today. Well, my shutter dogs are in, thank you Andy. It's a job that's been absolutely desperately needed since we moved in, so a year. Every time we get a bit of breeze, a bit of wind, as you can probably hear where it's a bit windy today, we can't have the shutters open because they just bang against the wall, and it's not only annoying but obviously it damaged the shutters. So now, see if I can close them from the inside. How exciting. Oh yes, perfect. Hey! Small things, please, small minds. Well, that's it for another exciting episode. Bit different video for you this time, guys. We've got so many odd jobs, bits and bobs of things that needed finishing. And also we've had a couple of very, very heavy weeks. Andy's stomach muscle is
singular,
killing him. So yeah, we needed some time this week to do a few odd jobs.
And it's great with their important jobs. You know, they've been bugging us for weeks, haven't they?
Absolutely.
So anyway, so now we're gonna chill out a little bit, celebrate our 1 year living off grid in our new a year ago forever home, and just pour this. We've got pink fizz. We've got.
Push the boat out. Why not?
Oh crikey, a couple of euros. We can afford that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Lovely.
And we'd like to make a toast to you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Cheers. We'll see you on Sunday.